Welcome back to all our attendees. Before I announce the next speaker, I'm pleased to inform you that the contest is on. Please do go to the contest section and answer the questions and try to win a gift. So we go to our next speaker, Mr. Hassan Ali GM Services Delivery and PMO at Oman Data Park, speaking on today's topic, Cloud Transformation, a Roadmap for the Free Zone Sector. Over to you, Mr. Hassan.
Thank you, Wilman. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Very good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great pleasure to share with you the roadmap for the cloud transformation of 2021. In today's journey, I have 7 topics. The last one is, it depends on the time. Perhaps we're going to go first on the cloud models. What is the microservices, ODB, professional services, and managed services on the cloud, and microservices and HPC, and some of the use cases of HPC. And if you had time, to cross fast on the security modules and packages and service available within the cloud. So I think this slide is the most important slide within the entire sessions today. The first part is going to come. When you're running any workload, usually you have your own data center. In that, components of the data center of chiller, HVAC, generator, UPS, batteries, access control, fire prevention and detection, electricity, and AMF, and all the components which is running to operate the electrical and mechanical, in order to give you the facilities where you can run your servers and computing and storage, and lastly, your application. That requires a lot of capitalization at the beginning and regular maintenance, which is an operating. So once you come into the cloud, there are a couple of choices to come on the cloud. The first one is going to come, let me outsource my data center. So here, what you're doing, you're putting that field into green. When you're coming into the cloud, you are shortcutting 30% of your capitalization and operating. There's no CapEx, but 30% of operating has been already reduced on a yearly basis. So still at that level, you maintain your own hardwares from the server, storage, and computing, and the software layers, all the above. You can have another layer also on top of that. You can still put a green field on the second phase, which is coming as a server, network, storage, and virtualization. And here, you are cutting 35 to 40%. You're no more taking care of the hardwares. That is a component of the servers and network and storage devices, neither the virtualization of hypervisory, which consists of a lot of licenses and managed of all these infrastructure component, and the virtualization layer. And here is 35 to 40% cost is going to cut. And that transformation can happen in very fast manner. You still have a choice to go another one layer, and that to green your operating systems and the platforms. And here, of course, you are shortcutting a lot of perpetual licenses and recurring license of your operating systems. And that comes in the phase of the OpEx environment. And that can give you a full visibility to operate your application. So you focus only on the application. Also, you can come software as a service. So you became from the data center as a service to infrastructure as a service to the platform as a service. And then lastly, you can come software as a service. Here, you're not even buying a perpetual applications, such as mailing environment, for example, file sharing, for example, workspace as a service, which is collaboration, and many other softwares which comes in a form of software as a service. And here you just go and license it from the perspective of utilization and usage. And here the cost reduced between 50 and above %. How ODP can help you with this? Now in ODP, we keep the choice, okay, for you of each layer. So the bottom layer, as I told you, we take the full control of the data center components and give the rest to you. You can come up with another one up layer, and you can, as I told you, you can take it into a service model. And here we are, what we do, we take the full responsibility to manage the infrastructure, and another one to platform. So you keep focusing only on your application, the higher level. Now here is a very good important point which you need to consider. The more you outsource these layers, the more focus you can consider into your application. Now your applications can break it down. Today the world is coming into cloud code, cloud runtime. So all the monolithic application and such a large back office applications comes into a break-in model, and that breaks into a pieces of a microservices, and that platform is called container. And here we also offer Kubernetes and OpenShift and Docker that can facilitate for you to transform your monolithic application into a microenvironment. Each layer is injected with a security. Security is not that it's an extra layer which is coming on top of. No, with each layer, the security is embedded. So for example, if you look from the data center, there's a lot of hardwares and access controls coming through all the physical components. The more you go on infrastructure, there's also physical layers into the infrastructure, and there's a layer, 7 layers of security comes from the physical to the networking, to the software and data and manage. So each component within the infrastructure and the platform and even containerization environment, security is embedded. Security is not an extra layer is added. No, it's part of each milestone which is achieved. Now, what we're saying here, how ODP can help you, ODP is saying to you, leave the right-hand side, which is all the challenges as a data center, virtualization, OS, and applications, standard application. Leave the load and leave the control and manage to ODP and focus on your application. How I can utilize the application. How today's you can do a lot of your operations and business processes. You can shorten the flow of your internal applications. You can shorten the flow of your external applications. You can integrate with a lot of third-party systems. You have a lot of data. Big data is a big now topic across the world, and which is GPU, TPU, and DPU, which is formulating the AI right now, is giving you a lot of value added where you can generate a lot of business opportunities and business potentials where you can explore vertical and horizontal with a new line of business once you focus how I can use this data. And I think if you go with Amazon, for example, and buy something, you'll see they look to the pattern what you buy and how you buy and when you buy, and they try to use these informations to upscale the business. The IoT, of course, is a new revolution happening, and every equipment right now, the cameras all of the place in the world, you can equip these cameras and you can generate a lot of IoT information. So IoT is fun. It's almost feeding a lot of information into your backend systems. Therefore, you need an HPC, and we already have HPC on board, and soon it's going to be coming in a form of AI services. So we giving you a platforms as well to containerize your environment. You can focus how I can reduce or break down my monolithic application into a microservice. I can sell that microservices. Remember, once you broken your service, your big application in a component of service, you can sell it. You can broadcast these informations and say to the partner, if you want to join with me, here I'm available. For example, if you are a banker, and the banks can sell information of their customer to a third party. If this customer is, for example, have an overdraft facilities or not, is this customer turnover is this much or not? So this information bank can sell it and integrate a third party, and they can charge for every inquiry is going to come across the straight-through processing. And the beauty about this is on demand, that you can upscale and downscale, not all the time. When you bring these hardware on board and manage it yourself, you cannot downgrade that. So that is capitalized, and operating is static. Either goes up or still on the same position of operating cost and capitalization cost. But here is on demand. That means there is a workload which is required on high, workload, high computing power. You can buy it on a moment, and then after you finish your process, downgrade it and focus on your business innovation. So this page is very, very important, that we're telling you, don't worry about the old technology which is need to operate your vision and your target. We are here next to you. You focus on your application, focus on your data, and how you can integrate with third party. So why cloud? Why cloud? Of course, cloud, as I told you, it's an scalable that you can upscale or downscale, which is giving you full freedom of increasing your compute storage and network. And these three are all is manageable. So it is fully automated, managed by a cloud environment. You don't take care of this. The most beauty of that, aside of scalable, is global presence, that you can run your application anywhere across the internet. You've been in Oman, outside Oman. Yeah, there is some restricted rule. You can put some of the applications be running within the Oman, but technically it can be open as well. So some of the international companies can host in Oman and they can use it. So the cloud is a presence global, and it's giving you a freedom to use your application around the clock, anywhere in the world. Why we should consider digital transformation to the cloud? Remember, the world is changing, the technology is changing. The cloud transformation is happening very fast. The legacy application is being changed to cloud code. Remember, cloud code is a new kind of software development that is focused only on cloud platforms, where that can upscale and downscale. And today we are running in a single process unit environment. And now with the GPU, we are running in parallel processing environment. So there's a parallel processing that's need a special kind of libraries environment, which is operatable only on cloud. And there's a cloud runtime. There is a cloud runtime which is being developed across the world with the big players such as Google, Microsoft, IBM, Oracle, and many other big players around the world, which they put the complete new framework to operate the cloud code and cloud runtime. So there is a transformation happening. For example, in the past, you was buying Microsoft Office, but right now you are getting it in Office 365. So this transformation is happening. Now, once you put your code into the cloud, it is very much right now considered to use the real open source. So your code can be customized and can be even utilized and consumed by other third parties in a form of libraries, and that can be used in a way that you can bring a lot of revenue from that perspective. API engines and app engines and cloud repository. There's many more. Collaboration is very important. Now, that can happen only in cloud environment, where you can put oil and gas, telecom, banking, airline company, insurance in a one platform. They can use across their application and integrate seamlessly. That can happen easily within the cloud. And security, we've been already talking about. My colleague was highlighting that, but in fast manner, I will cross it in one page. Connectivity, you don't need to consider connectivity, but that's only the internet, anywhere you are available. And most important, it's a zero downtime. And clouds never sleeps. Okay, it's proven that it's running 24/7 for many years. Thanks God, ODP from the 2011, from almost 9 years, we never been into sleep. We are complying all the regulation, and we are completely an open environment, and straight through processing is available out of the box. So all these benefits and features which is available on the development cycle and operation cycle, that's available on the cloud. And here is the transformation, can easily, seamlessly migrate your applications into the cloud. My colleague was highlighting that this is all what we have right now. We have 6 major platforms, and 2 are open. Nebula's brand of Oman Data Park. We have very strong, high-end, full classified environment for running the what's called the virtual data center. It's called Nebula VDC. and that's completely software defined. So we are focusing all these stacks into software defined. Now we have software defined computing, solution, network, access, storage, services, and infrastructure as well. And finally, WAN. So all these software defined is being somehow is considered and designed into these stacks, which is Nebula VDC, Nebula Lagoon, Nebula HPC, which is an AI engine, and Red Hat, Oracle stack. We have Azure, public, also Azure stack. It's intra-country, and we have public cloud as well. All the way, we have been migrating our complete environment into an ACI, Cisco ACI. So that's giving us a complete freedoms and choices to build our all kind of the latest technology and state-of-art environment in a software-defined. So software-defined is giving us a lot of flexibility to migrate any kind of workload into a cloud. There are many, of course, well-known cloud service providers. We are one of them. Of course, internationally, AWS, Microsoft, Azure, Google, GCP, IBM, Blue. So Oman Data Park is focusing, of course, to serve Oman and region, and even across the region. We have a couple of customers even across the board. So what is the value added with us? Your data is your assets. We secure your data. We guarantee we are not touching your data. We can guarantee that. We never touch your data. Your data is never ever is part of any of big data analysis. The Oman Data Park is guaranteeing that. Aside of transforming, we're giving you full professional services, we're giving you managed services, we protect your data, we assist how you can transform, but we never touch your data. We are fulfilling all kind of regulation from PCI, DSS, ISO 27001, and we are also compliant with the local bodies such as TRS, CBO, ITA, and many more. And we are the first service provider and managed service provider in Oman. And security, also as a cybersecurity SOC provider in Oman, we are also the first one. Why I should consider cloud transformation microservices? Now, because sometime right now, if each entity such as a government, they have their own problem, their own process, they are integrating, developing fine all of the time. Likewise, oil and gas, telecom, SME, fintechs, which is banking, healthcare, education, many others. Each one is having his own kind of application workload. There will be a time each one requires to integrate with others. So here you require a complete middleware environment and seamless integration. Here that the facilities which is coming from ODP and the cloud transformation, which is at the layer, here we can help integrating seamlessly and very easily. And we did it a couple of customers also. So this is kind of an overview how the monolithic process is broken into a micro environment and microservice that can be consumed by a third party. And this is the future. This is the future. This is which is generating an eco environment across the entire universe. So I think this slide's already covered with my colleagues, but I'm just adding one point here. Aside, we are offering IaaS, PaaS, SaaS. We're doing a lot of professional services, which can be one time or can be as and when you need it, for example. So we are assessing a lot of organizations for transformation, and we're assessing, for example, some organization to consider a networking, let's say IPv6, for example, okay, how I can plan for transforming or migrating from IPv4 to IPv6. We do this also. We're assessing from studying and putting a consultation to the roadmap of design and then finally implementation. So we do this. We have built many cloud stacks for other like service providers also. We did that. We have a hybrid cloud environment also that can integrate with other like data centers. And we also been building a couple of applications for the government. We have built 2 government applications from zero into the cloud. So they had nothing. We say manual process, and we migrate them completely into a seamless workflow and in cloud transformation. We have also migrated many of Oracle environment as well. So manage is our most strength value. A manage of Oman Data Park have a very strong team. We have very, very strong team in the Microsoft technology, in Cisco, in ACI, in storage, different type of storage, EMC. We have also very strong knowledge in capabilities of Microsoft Azure 365, backups, data protection policies, and many security services and cyber security. We have almost 600 plus customers on board. And the value here, while I'm focusing on professional services, managed services, is our main competent and capabilities versus other competitors in the market. HPC, as I've been said, we are introducing a high-performance computing environment, and that HPC is heavily dependent on a general processing environment and parallel processing environment in GPUs, graphical processing unit, and data processing units called DPU, and TPU, which is TensorFlow. All of these boxes has been already, alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen, thanks to God, we have already managed to get these hardwares into our environment, and now we're customizing it. Soon it's going to be available. What this can do for you, how you can use HPC and AI into the cloud environment. Of course, we know the GPUs and 5G and IoT revolutionized a lot of the capabilities into the data. So a lot of data is coming. So AI is a data-hungry environment where it can process a lot of this data and brings a value of meaning decisions that you can take from the data which is around your environment. So here, for example, how I can use the HPC. When we're positioning the workload, it is a choice for you or how many GPUs you are looking. Are you looking one or two? What is the time you're looking? Because if you acquire these kind of devices and this kind of hardware and you try to set it up and build it, it's going to cost a lot of money and a lot of time. And what we're saying to you, no, come and borrow it from us based on the time you want and based on the applications you want. So here you can use GPU and TPU, for example, for specific applications that can fulfill your needs, and how that can be used. Even we are assessing that for you in the workshop sessions. Now, remember, the HPC is overtaking the legacy application. The legacy applications they cannot run for a long time. There is a regenerating of the code by HPC itself in AI. AI is regenerating the software which is being built across the many years is almost over the time it's dying. There is a time, this is the time with a lot of data, the legacy application or environment shutting down. They cannot accommodate the new requirement, the new workload is required. Therefore, AI is overtaking the software. Now, a quick view here that I have a traditional deployment. I shifted to virtualized. See, when I'm saying virtualized environment, suppose you have a 50 application, minimum you have to have 50 VMs, okay? But when you come into containerization environment, you can have 3 VMs running 50 applications, even 100 applications. So the licenses and operating cost is reduced dramatically, and scalability is very, very dynamic in the container. Now, I'll focus now at the use cases of the HPC and AI. We offering right now the current platform which we have in positions that can serve the construction, governmental, cybersecurity, healthcare. Is very much focusing on the healthcare, financing, of course, and automotive and marketing, customer care, retail, all of these sectors. Now, how we can use, let's look some of the use cases and samples. You know, when I have a lot of data, okay, and I have HPC and there is an AI running behind, you know, there's one use case is, can human talk to a computer in a natural language, NLP, natural language processing? So there's a computer's talking to me, there is an AI engine talking to me and knows what is my problem. So all the symptoms of my sickness, I can talk to the NLP, and that machine can take it and narrow it through an API and diagnose of the data, and then it can forward it to doctors. So doctors getting the most important part of the basic information can be already formalized and compiled and send it to the doctor. This process reduced thousands of the hours from the doctors, what's called the clinics, and it's been already, some of them even very general use cases, and immediately the AI can give him the prescription and the medicine which is required. And that is coming very fast into the market. And that model can be achieved with our environment as well. A second one is the diagnosis. There's a lot of scanning happening from the ultrasound, MRI, CT scan. And I was reading one of the article there, the general doctors required specific to diagnose any MRI is taking 6 hours. When they try to train the AI engine to overtake this part of the operation, and after 2,000 what's called MRI process have been fed and trained to the computers, which is through the neural networking, they found the computers taking 1 minute. 1 minute. So 1 minute versus 6 hours. And that is per each patient. And then after that, the system is so intelligent, after the scanning, then he can find there's some problems happening on this, for example, MRI, and that's sidetracked and sent to the real doctors to take it. And this process is shortcut again, like 1,000, perhaps 100,000 of hours across the hospital's operations. As I said, ultrasound is also one of them. Now you have big data. You need to operate this big data. You need tools to analyze this data. There's a lot of tools around on open source, for example, for TensorFlow. And GPU also is offering for you such a Pinum and PyChart, which you can use it in a Python language or R language, for example, and analyze the data and do a lot of what-if analysis and some even deep, neural processing that can give you a real value of your existing data. Here is another example. We're putting a camera of IoT. When the car is crossing by, immediately the camera is picking up the template information and feeding it to the back office. And maybe police can know this car is almost registration is over and it's running on the road, or maybe this car's color has been changed, it is showing white, and it's on the road, it's red, and many information can be generated. This car is being already thefted from some places, and many informations. So this is a real time. So fast. Even the fraud detection, even the banking, that the pattern, like for example, you're withdrawing a cash from an ATM in Matrah, and after maybe a minute you are withdrawing it from Salalah. How we can cross withdrawing a cash transaction? Distance is 1,000 kilometers. Okay, so systems is so intelligent to predict this real time and block your card instantly. So this information is being compiled in a way in a very fast manner and track and sensible that can be generating a real processing and can give you a real decision on spot. So this is very much like a use cases within the banking and financial environment. You can transform million of books also into in a very fast manner into what's called into a library. And I think Google search is one of the most usable software across the whole universe. How intelligent it is! It sends what you want to search, and sometimes even it types and does a full intelligence to you while you're typing. Email scanning. Email, for example, if you have like a support center and you're getting, let's say, 200,000 emails, who will read 200,000 emails, and whether this context is important or not? So system is so intelligent here they can sense or there is this emails need an attention and can sidetrack that and send. Otherwise, it can process in a propagation environment and can propagate the message to you till it lands in the way that you get your services. I think like one of them is the chatbot. Even the chatbot is here where we chat with the AI, and I'm doing it all the time with the Amazon while I'm buying. If my items have been delayed or I want to cancel, I don't want the membership. There's no human. There's only an AI is talking to me. This is again a fast track that which you can scan the container in real time, take some information, transform it to OCR and CCTV cameras. This is all can happen in real time. Safety, that you can check the staff is wearing the gloves and helmets or not. And security has been already covered. I don't want to spend time on this, but in short, we shortly will inject also AI within this portfolio, and that can add a lot of values for our customer. Now, conclusion. Final what's called slide is saying AI with the HPC, with the cloud transformation, is the way forward to be a part of the ecosystem. There's a lot of ecosystems coming up across the world. Airline companies, telecom, banking, insurance, healthcare, all start talking to each other. You should find for you a place within this market. And AI is the enabler. AI is cloud and AI is the enabler, and ODP can help you to enable these services on the spot. I hope that was informative. And should you have any kind of question, please send it to us, and we'll be happy to reply you. Thank you very much, and back to Min. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hassan. So reminding all the attendees, if you have any questions, Oman Data Park has a booth at the exhibition zone. Please do visit and ask them all the questions. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.